All right, shalom, 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 Yasharala. Want to start off first and foremost, giving, of course, our honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh by Shema Mashiach, Wamalak Yahushua. Shalom to the 12 tribes scattered abroad. And of course, you see the topic is the existence of hell, and Lazarus and the rich man. We will get into it, get into the breakdown, understanding on it. It's a lot of confusion going on whether hell exists, and we're going to clear it up, Lord willing, through the Spirit and the power of Yahweh Shem Shah. So we're going to start off with Ecclesiastes 12 and 7. Before we get to Lazarus and the rich man, I'm going to just deal with hell in itself, right? So I'm going to go to Ecclesiastes, right? Chapter 12 and verse 7. And it reads, Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto God who gave it. So understand, this is something, this already getting critical, all right? We're seeing that the understanding that we learn in the Christian church, the understanding we learn in this world about what happens after your death is contrary to the Bible, right? So the Most High is letting you know that the spirit returns to him, everyone's spirit, right? And they're all awaiting the judgment day when the resurrection of the dead happens. We'll get into that also. So you could read Job, the 3rd chapter, and get into that also. But just to touch on it, you're seeing that what you've been taught is not what we're reading in the scriptures. Huh? And that, you got your cousin that died in a car wreck or something. He lived a life full of sin, and they got the angels on the back of his, angel wings on the back of on his back. And then, they think that if you didn't do that, then you're going to hell and you're burning in this fire with demons and, all manner of things that you see. Let's get Jonah 2 and 1. Let's deal with it, right? Jonah chapter 2 and verse 1. And it says, Then Jonah prayed unto the Lord his God out of the fish's belly, and said, I cried by reason of mine affliction unto the Lord, and he heard me. Out of the belly of hell cried I, and thou heardest my voice. So what you got to understand is this hell that we dealing with is always talking about a lower state, a captivity, or the grave, right? It's always talking about that, right? And we're gonna get into it. That's just off that Jonah, right? We're getting into that. You seeing right now that Jonah said he was in hell, right? Now, did he say he was in? We know Jonah was in the belly of the whale, right? He didn't say he was under the ground with Satan and a bunch of demons and him burning up in fire. That's not what he's saying, right? He's saying he was in a lower state at the time, man, right? And he was in the belly of the whale and he cried unto the Most High. Let's get Jude, because a lot of people that get tripped up when you go into Revelations and you're seeing an exaggeration where it says eternal fire, right? And you think this is actually always talking about forever. Now we go to let's just get a quick example of that real quick. We'll go to Jude, right? All right, let's get it with that. Jude verse 7, right? And it reads, Even as Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities about them in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication and going after strange flesh, are set forth for an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire. So that eternal fire is just showing you how bad that fire is, right? When the nuclear bombs take off, when this land America is destroyed, when all these places are burned with fire all over the earth, right? And Yahweh Shah rules, these are the things you're hearing about with this eternal fire, man. It's not literally fire is going to be forever, right? You got to get to understanding that mindset of the Christian church out of your mind and deal strictly with the precepts, strictly with thus saith the Lord, right? And when we go to dealing with that, let's go to Revelation 6 and 8 real quick. Another point we can deal with. Revelation 6 and 8. And it says, And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. Now, does this mean it's a pale horse is going to be riding around, right? And literally the whole what you call the realm of hell following after him? No, that's ridiculous, man. That's fairy tales, right? This isn't literal. This isn't meant to be taken literal. It's talking about this. You got death coming with this thing, man. Right? Death coming with this, what you would call a pale horse, right? So you got multiple occasions where you're seeing the things that don't line up with what they tell you. Especially in Revelation. I want to get another one. And I know we're sort of doing rapid right now, but definitely going to slow down to get into some of this. Revelations chapter 20 and verse 14. It says, and death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. Now, how does that make sense? How can hell be cast into the lake of fire? How can death? This is talking about death and hell. This is talking about all we know here in America, the death, the destruction that we go through, all the us getting our mortal bodies, right? That we're dealing with, and it's not having a new covenant yet, right? And hell, this hell is dealing with the persecution that we're going through, right? All that's going to be cast away. All that's going to be done away with, right? That goes into the destruction. And if you read on it, whosoever was not written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. Now, you got to understand, man, the things that you've been taught are contrary to what the Bible is saying. You have to admit that. And you have to deal with it. Now, let's go to John 5 real quick. John 5 and verse 28. This is John chapter 5. And we're going to get verse 28. And it says, marvel not at this, for the hour is coming in the which that all that are in the graves shall hear his voice and shall come forth. They that have done good unto the resurrection of life, and they that have done evil unto the resurrection of damnation. Now, that means people aren't in hell right now, as you was thinking. It says even the good and the evil are going to be resurrected. Now, the people that are resurrected to life, they're going to be resurrected and they're going to get beamed up. They're going to be resurrected and they're going to get this new body, right? But the people that's resurrected to death or damnation are going to be the ones that are going to be destroyed by that nuclear fire, right? The ones that aren't going to get that the new covenant, the ones that aren't going to get that mortal that transfer from that mortal body, right? So you see this here. How does it line up with everyone goes to hell when they die? Right? You in this realm of hell when you die. It doesn't line up, right? Because it says those that have done good until the resurrection of life, and those that have done evil until the resurrection of death. Now, this is when Yahweh comes back. That means all these spirits are controlled by the Most High and waiting upon until Yahweh comes back. Let's deal with this real quick. Now, hell in this word, hell in the Old Testament is called Sheol. I'm gonna show y'all that right now. Sheol, Slakia. I'm gonna show you that in the blue letter. Pull it up on the screen real quick. Give an example. Psalms. Go to Psalm 16. Use that as an example. All right. Psalm 16 and 10. I wouldn't screen share, but for sake of time, I'm just gonna. Well, I might well screen share it. Let me screen share it real quick. So like Israel. Because it's going to be harder to see it. Bear with me real quick. So like it. Should have had this ready. All Psalm 16 and 10. Let me screen share it. Salakia. All right, you see right here. Yes. Psalm 16 and 10 is the example we're going to use because we're going to use it anyways. And here we see right here, hell right here, the word for it in the Old Testament, right? Let's go to it. It means Sheol, right? Let me play it for you.
Strong's H, 7585. Sheol. Sheol.
Right? And it means,
second entry, Sheol. Sheol.
look what it says. It says underworld, grave, hell, pit, right? The place of no return. All the things we see about the grave, right? Wicked sent there for punishment, right? Which we're gonna go into that type of hell too, right? So here we're seeing multiple definitions, right? But we see throughout the scriptures that this is talking about hell, the grave, pit, or condition, right? And we're gonna get into that too. Let me remove this real quick. Let's get into it. So in Psalm 16 and 10, where we just reading, that word is for Sheol, right? Now we're gonna go to Psalm 16 and 10, right? And it reads, we just reading it. We didn't really read it, but we brought it up. Psalm 16 and 10, and it reads, it says, "For thou wilt not leave my soul in hell, neither wilt thou suffer thy Holy One to see corruption." Right? So that hell is talking about that destruction, that grave, going to the grave, right? Going into that pit, right? Because this is a prophecy of Yahushua. And we're going to show you that in the so-called New Testament right now. In Acts, the 2nd chapter. Because this is David prophesying about Yahushua, right? This is Acts chapter 2 and verse 31. He saying this therefore spake of the resurrection of a Mashiach, that his soul was not left in hell, neither his flesh did see corruption, because Yahushua was raised from the dead, showing you what this hell means, right? So, and there's another definition for hell that you see, and is mentioned in the New Testament, and it's called I'm gonna bring it up. It makes references to, it's called Gehenna. It makes references to the valley of Hinnom, Salakia, in the Old Testament. Let me pull. I might have to pull that up too. On the screen share. Let's get this real quick. What we see Gehenna at? Let's see. Bear witness with me, Salakia. Let me find it. So let's use Mark 9 and 15. It should work. Mark 9 and 45. It might be Gehenna. Right. This is it right here. All right. So this precept is from Mark 9 and 45. And we see that word right there is Gehenna. It's another word for hell, right? And it's called right here. You see right here, it says hell is the place of future punishment called Gehenna, or Gehenna or fire. This was originally the valley of Hinnom, south of Jerusalem, where the filth and dead animals of the cities were cast out and burned, a fit symbol of the wicked and their future destruction. Now, this says nothing about some place or some realm under the earth or something called hell. This is talking about the destruction that, and I'm going to bring out the precept that's going to even just explain it better. Jeremiah, the 7th chapter. Get back on the stream. All right, let me go back to Jeremiah. We get Jeremiah 7. Jeremiah chapter 7 and verse 31, right? And it says, and they have built the high places of Tophet, which is the valley of the son of Hinnom, we were just reading about, to burn their sons and their daughters in the fire, which I commanded them not, neither came it unto my heart. So here we're seeing this is an ancient place where people would burn things, right? And it's not talking about some place underground, man, right? It's talking about an actual place, right? As we just read right there, this actual city, right? The Valley of Jerusalem. So this is talking about the future destruction is going to happen. When you read the same thing, it's the same concept. The death, the fire, right? We're talking about the end times that we're reading about. So you got two definitions, and none of. I mean, you got to always ask yourself, man, if why don't we see this hell mention of what you think of anywhere in the so-called Old Testament? Why only when we see these different understandings of this word used in a certain way that you've been taught in Christianity that you may think is this place that they've been telling you, which comes from like Hades, Greek mythology. This was never a belief of the Hebrews, man. These are all the things you've been taught, right? And put in your mind, right? And that same word in Hinnom that we were just reading about is the same word that's going to be in Luke 16, right? And Luke 16, if you don't know, is the most used verse to try to justify hell, right? As in this place underground or this realm underground. And we're going to break that down next because I'm pretty sure we've justified to you that, look, man, hell as you know it, that as what you've been taught in the Christian church doesn't exist. Hell is a place of torment, as in you going through hell, captivity, the grave, the pit, lower state, like I said, torment, as we've seen in Jonah. And everything is gonna flow with Luke 16. Now that word Gehenna right there is used also in Luke 16 and verse 19. Going into the parable, we're gonna go ahead and break this down, right? Luke 16. And I know it's late at night, but you got to get into it, man. Happy new moon, Salakia. Happy new moon to the 12 tribes scattered abroad. Let me get this Luke 16. Luke 16 and verse where is the hell? So we're going to read the whole thing from Luke 16:19 down, but I wanted to get the place where it said hell. Well, we'll just read down to it, right? The hell is the same one we see in Gehenna, but we're going to break down the whole Luke 16, right? And we're going to start at Luke 16 and 19, right? Luke 16 and 19, and it reads, there was a certain rich man, which was clothed in purple and fine linen, and fared sumptuously every day, right? So sumptuously, Salakia, means that you were living good. You didn't have to worry about nothing. This is talking about who you know today is Esau. Now, I know it doesn't say Esau right there, but we're going to prove it through the precepts. You have to go precept among precept, right? Now, you can even add other nations, all the other nations to qualify this, but mainly this dealing with Esau, right? And talking about the judgment of the wicked. Now, let's get and prove it, right? Now, it says a rich man, right, which is clothed in purple. Now, let's get some precepts on this. Let's get James chapter 5. James chapter 5. James chapter 5 and verse 1. It says, go ye now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Right? So understand how you look at Esau in this world. You look at the so-called white man, and he lives so great in his earth, man. This is his kingdom of heaven, man. This is his place of peace. This is his place of rest, right? And they live, they don't have to worry about things like we have to worry. These other nations don't have to worry about it, period, like we have to worry about things, man. Right? They live, they live great here, man. And we can get that that purple that we're reading about, clothed in purple, is talking about the status that they're living in. When you read Revelation chapter 17, let's get that real quick. Revelation chapter 17 and verse 4. And it says, and the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color. It's talking about Babylon the Great. The main capital of the Edomites right now, right? And here you're seeing that it was arrayed in purple and scarlet color. That's talking about the way they live so, deliciously, so great here, right? And it says, decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abomination and filthiness of her fornication. So you see everything that the so-called white man pushes to our people. His Christianity, his other philosophies and doctrines. And here we're seeing that they're clothed with purple here, man. As in, they live royal here, man. Live great here. They don't have to worry about getting shot in the back. They don't have to worry about not being 9 out of 10 of them, unless they're two-time losers, don't have to worry about paying their bills, right? Don't have to worry about their situation for their family. Don't have to worry about and constantly think and manage like we have to, right? And it says, and let me get another precept for David, Psalm 73. Let's get Psalm 73 and 1, right? We start at 1. And it says, truly, God is good to Israel, even to such as are of a clean heart. But as for me, my feet were almost gone. My steps had well nigh slipped. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked, just like our people do. They see the prosperity of the so-called white man, and they want to be like this so-called white man, right? They want to be like him. They want to talk like him. They want to dress like him. They want to care about only money like him. And it says, but David said he was almost swallowed up like that, man. For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. So they don't go through the judgments of the Most High like us, right? They live good. They got the good credit. The bills are paid, right? They don't have to worry about getting put to death on a daily basis. All the things that we struggle with and have to worry about, right? It says, therefore, pride compasses them as a charm, as a chain, Salakia. Violence covers them as a garment. Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than the heart could wish. They got more than the heart could wish, man. You look at some of these so-called these Edomites' houses, right? Look at where they living at. Look at the food that they eat, right? Look at just the status that they have, man, right? Verse 8, they are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak lawfully. They don't really care about how we living. And what you're going to see about that rich man never really cared about Lazarus and how Lazarus is. If you don't know, Lazarus is us. Lazarus is the Israelites, right? And it says they set their mouth against the heavens and their tongue walketh through the earth, right? So, they pretty much they do what they want to do, man, right? Let me get this real quick. Let's go back to Luke. Get verse 2. I mean, not verse 2, but Luke 16 and it's a lot here. Luke 16 and verse 20. We left off at. Now let's read ours. Let's read what Lazarus is up to. It says, and there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which was laid at the gate full of sores. Right, so Lazarus is us, man. You look at our condition, we're the beggars, man. You're working a 9 to 5. You're getting the crumbs of these major CEOs, right? You're at the very bottom, right? And it says they're laid at the gate full of sores. Their sores are talking about affliction, right? We're the ones that's going through affliction. We're not living deliciously. We're not living delicate, great like the so-called white man and the other nations are, right? And let's get that with Isaiah chapter 1. Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 5. Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 5, right? And it says, why should ye be stricken anymore? Ye will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick, and the whole heart faint. From the sole of the foot, even unto the head, there is no soundness in it, but wounds and bruises and putrefying sores. They have not been closed, neither bound up, neither mollified with ointment, man. So we've been constantly going through affliction, constantly going through hell. You see our history of our people, all the hell that we done went through, man, since we departed from the Most High. Now, Esau can't do this of himself. These are the things the Most High has put in control of him, right? And these are the two different lots that we have. Let's read this. Verse 20. Actually, before I read on, I want to get Hosea 6:1. Actually, before I get Hosea 6:1, I want to get Luke 10. All right. Let's get Luke 10:30. And it says, and Yahweh answering, a certain man went down from Jerusalem to Jericho and fell among thieves. Right? The thieves are the other nations. Right? And it says, which stripped him of his raiment. His raiment was, that's our knowledge, our wisdom. All the knowledge of who we were, all the things that we learned about ourselves, all the things that the Most High gave us, that we're Israelite, the tribes, the commandments, the laws, and the statutes. And listen to this. And wounded him and departed, leaving him half dead. So we're wounded. We're going through this affliction, right? This is us that is talking about, man. As Lazarus. Let's get Hosea 6:1 as another witness today. Hosea 6:1, and it reads, "Come and let us return unto the Lord, for he have torn and he will heal us. He have smitten and he will bind us up." So the Most High has torn us. We all cut up through all this affliction, all this hell that we're going through. But it also said he's going to heal us. And what you're going to read about in the story with Lazarus and the rich man is the Most High healing us, right? And Esau, who's lived his whole life being the wicked and living great and living a life of wickedness, right, is going to be brought down. And he's going to go through that affliction. Now let's keep reading. Verse 21. It says, "And desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table." Like I was saying earlier, we desire to be fed with the crumbs from the rich man. You know, we're getting these minimum wages. You know, you're working all day. You got to go home. You barely got time to spend with your kids. Barely got time to make time for anything else. You got to stay up late night to make time for the Most High. Get into these scriptures. Get into this word. You got to make your body a living sacrifice. Right? And it says, it's like it. "And desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores." Man, what's that mean is that we barely surviving out here, man. You know, we just getting by. Now the rich man, these Esau and these other nations, they're not living like that, man. Right? They're not, even if they're poor, they don't have to go through the things we're going through. Right? They don't have to go through the affliction. They're not persecuted. They don't have the Israelites and these curses on them like the Most High has put on us and judging us continuously. Right? Let's read this. Verse 24. And it says, not 24, 22. And it says, "And it came to pass that the beggar died and was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom." Now, the bosom is talking about the kingdom of heaven. When you hear about the bosom, a bosom is a safe place, a place of rest, right? That's the things that's what the Most High has given us, a place of rest, right? That's the kingdom of heaven. And it says, "And the rich man also died and was buried." So you see a difference. One got the kingdom of heaven and the other one is buried. The other one's not going and getting this rest. He's not going with Abraham's bosom, right? He's receiving this death, right? Let's keep reading. All right, verse 23. And it says, "And in hell he lift up his eyes." Now that same word for hell right there is Gehenna. What we were just reading earlier, right? Showing you that the Gehenna, we're going to prove to you that Gehenna is not talking about this realm on the ground, right? But it's talking about the grave sometimes. And in this case, it's talking about this affliction, right? It's talking about this oppression, right? Because remember, we're receiving the kingdom of heaven. Esau and these other nations are receiving the captivity. They're going to go through the curses also. They're going to go through all the things that the Most High has promised. It says, "And it came to pass that the beggar died, was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom. And the rich man also died and was buried. right? Verse 23. And in hell, he lifted up his high eyes being in torment, right? So they're going to be in captivity, right? They're going to be in this torment. Let me get that Isaiah 5 real quick. Let's get that. This is Isaiah chapter 5 and verse 13. It says, therefore my people are going into captivity because they have no knowledge, and their honorable men are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst. Therefore hell have enlarged herself and opened her mouth without measure, and their glory and their multitude and their pomp, and he that rejoiceth shall descend unto it. Do you think it's talking about a place called hell that we're going to? No, we're going through hell right now. Hell enlarged. That ain't talking about hell growing. You know, Esau want to tell you hell's growing underground. You know, venture's going to take over the earth, right? No, this is talking about the condition that we're going through, that affliction and that persecution. That same thing is going to happen with Esau, right? He's going to go through that hell, right? He's going to go through these things that we're talking about here, man, because it's only right. Didn't the Lord say in Isaiah 14, for you have mercy on Jacob and the strangers and all these other nations going to be our servants and handmaids, right? Now, I want to get another precept on this. Before I get it, I'm going to keep reading, right? And see if and in hell he lifted up his eyes being in torment, right? So here you see him being in torment, captivity, right? And see if Abraham afar off and Lazarus in his bosom, right? Us being in the kingdom of heaven, us being protected by the Most High, you know, that we may, like it says in Luke 1, that we may serve him without fear, right? And it says, verse 24, Salaki. And he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me, and send Lazarus that he may dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue. So basically, this is Esau in the wicked. You can even add the mother nation to it, but mainly Esau, right? Is him having to deal with this captivity because he's been so used to living, great, living a good life, man, right? But now he's asking for us to, sort of chill out. You know, Esau didn't chill out when we was in those slave fields, man. Esau ain't chill out when the our mothers was hoping and praying for mercy that they wouldn't sell their children, right? He didn't have mercy on us. So what do you think the Most High is gonna do? He's not gonna have mercy on them, right? Let's get the precepts. Let's get Isaiah 47 and 6. Get the precepts on that, man. So precept must be upon precept, Israel. You can't just wing it with your understanding. You have to be diligent and acquire them and get into the matter. Isaiah chapter 47 and 6. I was wroth with my people. I have polluted my inheritance and given them into thine hand. Thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid the yoke. So they didn't show us no mercy. So the Most High is not going to show them no mercy, man. Even the old men, the very ancient, they was on top of them, man. You watch these movies, these slavery movies, man. Even now, they still got our old men working 70. They working at 70, 80 years old, man, working at Walmart after they don't retire, right? This is the things that we're having to go through, right? And then let's get another precept, man. Let's get Deuteronomy, the classic, Deuteronomy 30. Deuteronomy 30. Deuteronomy 30 and verse 7. And the Lord God will put all these curses upon thy enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. So Lord gonna put all these curses on them. You know how we went to slavery ships and we went away from Israel, Jerusalem. They gonna be going on. They're not going, and we ain't gonna see our land no more. They're not gonna see America no more, man. They're not gonna see their land no more. You know how we had yokes of iron upon the neck? They getting yokes of iron upon the neck, right? All these curses gonna come back on them. You know why? Because God said it has to happen, right? And who are you to speak against the Most High, right? These are the things that have to come to pass, right? Let's get another precept with that Luke. Sirach 33. Sirach 33 and 25. If thou set thy servant to labor, thou shalt find rest. But if thou let him go idle, he shall seek liberty. So, we're going to be on top of him in the kingdom, man. Verse 26, a yoke and a collar do bow the neck. So are tortures and torments for an evil servant, man. So they're going to get these tortures and torments. Like we just reading about in Luke. They're going to get these tortures. They're going to go in captivity. They're going to be not knowing when they're not going to have no rest, right? They soul of their feet ain't going to have no rest. Let's keep reading. Let's get back to it. Luke 16. Let's flip back to it. Bear with me, Israel. Luke 16 and where's night? Where we were at? 23. I'm gonna get one more. No, 24. I want to get one more precept. Let's get James, the second chapter. James chapter 2 and verse 13. For he shall have judgment without mercy that have showed no mercy, and mercy rejoiceth against judgment. So just like they showed us no mercy, they're going to get no mercy, right? He that showeth no mercy is not going to receive any mercy. Now, let's get back to this. It's like it. All right, let's get back to Luke chapter 16 and verse 24, right? We read it again. He cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me, and send Lazarus that he may dip the tip of his tongue in water and cool my tongue, for I am tormented in this flame. That flame is talking about that affliction, that persecution, the flame that we go through every day, right? This is more on this, right? Verse 25, this is key right here. But Abraham said, Son, remember that thou in thy life receivest thy good things, and likewise Lazarus evil things. But now he is comforted, and thou art tormented. So the table is finna flip, man. Just like why they live their life good and we were tormented, the time is where it's gonna flip, right? And their kings and their nobles are gonna go through what we went through, right? I gotta get some precepts for that right there. Let's get Revelation chapter 18. Let's get there, Revelation chapter 18. Revelation chapter 18 and verse 7. How much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously, right? So much torment and sorrow give her. Now we see the same thing. That torment and that sorrow is coming to her, right? Babylon the Great and even chiefly Esau, right? Torment and sorrow is coming, right? Because she's lived her whole life good, right? For she has said in her heart, I said a queen, and I am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. You think Esau thinks they're going to see sorrow? You think they can't believe? You think they're going to believe when their whole kingdom is trodden down, right? When the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans and the Israelites scattered all four corners of the earth, rule over them. There's something crazy in them, man, right? And it says, but Abraham says, Son, remember thou in thy life receivest good things, and likewise Lazarus evil things. But now is he comforted, and thou art tormented. So the same way we going through hell, they're going to be going through hell. The same way they living good right now, we're going to be living good, but in righteousness, right? Let's get verse 26. And besides all this, between us and you, there's a great gulf fixed. What is that great gulf fixed? That great gulf fixed ain't talking about some big gulf of hell, man, right? This is talking about that we have two lots. That great gulf fixed means these things are fixed. You know what fixed means? They're in place. These are the lots of the so-called Israelites and the lots of Esau and even the other nations, right? So let's deal with that. Let's get the distance of Esther, right? Let's prove that. Got to get the precepts. Precept must be upon precept. Line upon line here, a little there. This is Esther Let's get that. Bear with me, Israel. All right, let's get it. All right, this is Esther chapter 10. So like verse 10, right? And it says, therefore have he made two lots, one for the people of God and another for all the Gentiles, right? So listen to this, man. The Most High has made two lots, one for the Israelites and one for all these heathen, man. Our lot was to go through that hell and be in captivity first just to get the kingdom at the end game. Their lot is to be in captivity, right? Because they live their kingdom right now. But our kingdom is going to be forever, Lord willing, we make it in there. The Most High show me mercy and grace to see it with my eyes, right? Because it's going to be a beautiful thing, right? So here we're seeing, right? That we're seeing Ecclesiastes 10 and 10 telling you how the table is going to flip, right? Let's get 2nd Ezra 8 and 51. You know, these things are parables, man. You don't take parables at face value. A wise man is going to understand the parables, like the scriptures say. Because a wise man is going to do it according to the way the Most High break it. He's going to break it down according to what the Most High told him to break it down, which is precept upon precept. Let's get 2nd Ezra 8 and 51. Right, and it reads, but understand thou for thyself and seek out the glory for such as be like thee. For unto you is paradise open. The tree of life is planted. Now the Most High is talking to Ezra. Now you know that the Israelites are the only ones going to get the kingdom of heaven. So use this to understand what the Most High is talking about through Ezra. The time to come is prepared. Plenty is made ready. A city is built, and rest is allowed. That's the key. We're going to have rest. Yea, perfect goodness and wisdom. The root of evil is sealed up from you. Weakness and the moth is hid from you. And corruption is fled into hell to be forgotten. That all these other nations, Esau, chiefly Esau is going to go into captivity, man. They're going to go through that hell. And it says to be forgotten. That means that no one going to be, look, we're going to forget about Esau in the kingdom half the time, man. They're going to just be our slaves. We ain't going to be constantly worried about the so-called white man on our backs no more. We're going to be in our homeland, man, serving the Most High. Let's go back to Luke, right? Luke 16. Where we left? Luke 16. We left off at 26, right? And it says, and besides all this between us and you, there is a great gulf fixed, so that they which would pass from hence to you cannot, neither can they pass to us that would come from hence. That means we can't switch lots. This is the lot that Most High ordained for heaven. You read Romans where the Lord said, what if God made one vessel to glory, one vessel to destruction? This is the way the Most High don't set this up, man. Right? Verse 27. Then he said, I pray thee, therefore, Father, that thou wouldest send to him to my father's house. For I have 5 brethren, that he may testify unto them, lest they also come into this place of torment. So here we're seeing that Esau sort of trying to get out his judgment once again, right? But this judgment has to come to pass, right? When you read verse 29, Abraham said unto him, they have Moses and the prophets, let them hear them. All right, so basically Abraham said, ain't no way out. We got, the law's been here before you the whole time. The law, statutes, commandments, but it wasn't in you. It wasn't in you to keep it, right? There's no change in the so-called white man. Didn't the Lord say they are made wicked, right? Do we got to prove that they're the wicked? I mean, we can grab a couple precepts real quick. Let's grab it, because people might get, they might get perplexed that it don't say Esau right there, man. Now, man, who is that? Job 9 and 24. Everyone should know this. The earth is given unto the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Right? So it's given into the hand of the wicked, man. We know who the wicked is, right? Another precept. Got to get to go with it. Psalms 27. Psalms 27 and let's see. This Psalms 27. What I want. Let's see. Salakia Israel. Let me find this precept. Bear witness with me. Can't find it for now, so Lord willing, I get it. But the point is, you know that are wicked, man. We can get another precept. Let's see. I think I found it. Yeah, Psalms 22 and 16. I found it. Lord, all praise to Yahweh Shemel Shah. Psalms 22 and 16. For dogs have compassed me, this assembly of the wicked have enclosed me. They pierced my hands and my feet. Now, who pierced the hands of Yahweh Shah? The so-called white man, Esau, right? Even though our people, they definitely played a part too, right? Who's the one that pierced them? He's telling you who the wicked is. He's telling you the ones that cover the faces of the judges thereof. How you gonna get around it, right? You can't get around it. Another precept. Let's get one more witness. One more. Let's go to Isaiah. Hold on. Bear with me, Israel. Isaiah 26 and 10. Let favor be showed to the wicked. You see how we're reading this? Let favor be showed to the wicked. Yet will he not learn righteousness. What is Abraham telling him? The laws is there, have been there the whole time. Yet they won't learn righteousness. Right? Because it's not in them. Right? In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly and will not behold the majesty of the Lord. So this is exactly what we're seeing here with Abraham. The precepts break this down perfectly, man. Right? Verse 30. Go back to Luke 16 and 29. We're going to read it again. It says, Abraham said unto him, they have Moses and the prophets, let them hear them. And he said, nay, Father Abraham, but if one went unto them from the dead, they will repent. So he basically saying if one, like Esau, he's trying to get out of his judgment, man. Like, hey, just show that I can keep the commandments and everyone to turn back to the Most High. All the Edomites, all the other nations to turn back, we'll turn to God, right? And we'll raise me from the dead, raise me from this grave I'm in, right? Verse 31, what did Abraham say unto him? And he said unto him, if they hear not Moses and the prophets, neither will they be persuaded, though one rose from the dead. So they're not dealing with the scriptures. Why? Because the scriptures say that the spirit that's within them is not upright in him. Read Psalms 51. We just read Isaiah 26 and 10. You can read Psalms 50 and 16. We get that real quick. Let's get that real quick. All right. Psalms 50 and 16. So the Most High is breaking this down perfectly. But unto the wicked God saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes? Or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? So they don't have no part in this kingdom. Their part is to be a servant. Didn't the Lord say that? Let's get that precept, man. I gotta get that. Bear witness with me. Bear with me, Israel. Ecclesiastes 10 and 7. That's what I wanted. Ecclesiastes 10 and 7. Right? Didn't the Lord say this? Ecclesiastes 10 and 7. I have seen servants upon horses. What is the horses there in rulership right now, man? The servants upon horses is Esau and his rulership ruling. Right? They're in the rulership. They're meant to be servants. That's their lot. Get what the Lord is saying in this parable, man. Right? And princes walking upon servants upon the earth. Right? Princes walking as servants upon the earth. We're the princes. But we're walking as servants upon the earth. We're at the bottom. We're the Lazarus. Right? It's right there before you. He that have ears to hear, let him hear. Let's get another precept that go with that. Sorry. Let me get another precept. 40, it's like 33. Salakia. Trying to find a precept. Sort of did this lesson off the spirit. Brother Amon needed. Right. Sirach 33 and 24, and it says, Fodder are one, and burdens are for the ass, and bread, correction, and work for a servant. If thou set that, we just read that other verse 25 and 26. I just wanted to get that verse 24, man. So, Esau's going to go through this. He's going to go through everything that we went through, man. Those curses are going to turn back on him. That's the whole story, right? That's the breakdown for it, right? That's the breakdown for, the whole Lazarus and the rich man story. You got to get this out of your mind. Let me pull this up real quick. Salakia. Got to get this out of your mind. You got to get this stuff out of your mind. Salakia, some madness coming up. Got to get this out of your mind, Israel. Got to get this completely out of your mind. You got to refrain your mind, man. That's what, didn't the Lord say? Hold on, let me see if this comes in, man. Tell them what Esau might take you to, man. Let me scoot this over so y'all can see. Didn't the Lord say hey, we gotta cleanse ourselves, man. Cleanse our minds. I mean, it's not that ain't no devils under. This ain't gonna be. How you gonna come on? How your spirit gonna burn forever, man? Just think about that, man. It don't make any sense. This guy isn't pulling up. These are the things that Hades comes from Greek mythology, man. This isn't found in the scriptures. This isn't found nowhere in the word, man. There ain't no place underground. This man, come on, man. This guy isn't gonna be waiting on you right here. Oh man. People been, this is what goes back into cleaning your mind, man. Cleaning your mind from all the madness that we've been taught. Let's get Romans 12 and 2. Romans chapter 12, verse 2, it says, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. Right? So you gotta prove what's the perfect will of God by renewing your mind with these scriptures, man. Don't let that's the main problem with Israel. That's the main reason why a lot of our people, they thinking the heathen gonna be saved, thinking the heathen gonna be in the kingdom. They thinking hell exists, this place underground. That's Greek mythology, man. Let me see if I can pull up something real quick. Got to about this hell, man. Let me pull this up real quick. Bear with me. Bear with me real quick, Israel. Let me get this for y'all. Let me show you this. Bear with me, Israel. I'm about to pull it up. Let me screenshot that. Let me see. We see here, right? In Greek mythology, Hades, the god of the underworld, was the firstborn son of Titans, Cronus, and Rhea. You learn all this stuff in school, man. Zeus received the sky, Poseidon received the seas, and Hades received the underworld, the unseen realm to which the souls of the dead go upon leaving the world, as well as any of all things beneath the earth. That's not in the scriptures, man. These are the things you've been taught by the so-called white man. He's polluting your mind, just like he polluted your mind with Christmas, just like he polluted your mind with damn Easter and all these and your birth and celebrating birthdays. This is a custom that you got to break from, man. Learn not the way of the heathen, man. And what's the it's a book they used to teach, man, talking about the layers of hell, right? It's a bunch of mythology, man. That's not found in the scriptures, man. What did the Lord say? Let me bring out a precept. Gotta bring out this precept, man. Let's bring this out. Lord has made very clear what's going on here, man. So, like, let me find this precept. Yeah, let's get this. Job 21:7. Wherefore do the wicked live, become old, yea, are mighty in power. Their seed is established in their sight with them, and their offspring before their eyes. So look, this is going back into the parable, but it's also going into how they're ruling. They have this high power to make you believe in this nonsense, right? They're ruling the earth. They control you in school, right? And all these in their public school system to have you believe in this madness. But the point is, this goes right. This is a beautiful precept with the parable of Lazarus and the rich man. It says, wherefore do the wicked live, become old, yea, and mighty in power. Verse 8, their seed is established in their sight with them, and their offspring before their eyes. Their houses are safe from fear, neither is the rod of God upon them. They're not going through that judgment yet. They're not going through that hell right now. They're still living with the purple garment on, man. They're still living good. You know, they don't have no worries, right? So like the rod of God, that rod is talking about the correction. God doesn't correct them because he corrects us. He corrects those whom he loves. You know, he's the only ones he is correcting is the Israelites, right? They haven't got no judgment yet. Psalms shows you that they haven't had any judgment yet. They haven't known judgment, right? And it says, they send forth their little ones like a flock, and their children's dance. So like I skipped the verse 10. The bull gendereth and faileth not, their cow calveth and casteth not her calf. They send forth their little ones like a flock, and their children's dance. They take the timbrel and the harp and rejoice at the sound of the organ. They spend their days in wealth, and in a moment go down to the grave. That's what's happening here, right? They spend their days in wealth, and in a moment they go down to the grave. Now, they're going to go down to that grave just to go through that hell, man, just to be resurrected and put to death, right? And the ones that are saved from them are going to go through the hell that we're speaking about in Lazarus. And the rich man, they're going to go through captivity, right? And it says, verse 14, therefore they say unto God, depart from us, for we desire not the knowledge of thy ways. That's what Abraham was saying in the latter verses, 27 through 31, Luke 16, 27 and 30 through 31, right? Is that it's not in them. This is a lot thing, man. The law's always been there. Moses, the scriptures been there. They never took heed to it because it's not in them to take heed to it, right? What is the Almighty that we should serve him? And what profit should we have if we pray unto them? Lo, their good is not in their hand. The counsel of the wicked is far from me. Hey, look, man, they live good, man. They don't have no worries, man. Right? They don't have nothing to worry about, man. What profit do they have from serving the Most High? They think since they got riches and wealth, that they don't need the Most High, right? They're the kings on this earth, right? And that's why when you read the parable, when you're reading Lazarus and the rich man, it further shows you that there is no existence of hell as in the place that you're talking, because this is the main place that people go to. They can go to anything. Even a lot of Christians know this. Right? And when I say Christians, the fake Christians, the members of Christianity, right? That they can't go anywhere but these stories like this, right? A parable, something that you shouldn't, that people that's small in the faith shouldn't even be dealing with, man, right? They have to be weaned from the milk to even get something like that, right? So these are the things you see. These are the, the breakdowns for it. There is no hell as a realm underground. Hell is a condition. It's the grave and it's the pit, right? We see that all throughout the scriptures, all throughout the Old Testament, and it's even in the New Testament, the same exact way, right? That's why, they can try to convince you that it's Hades, it's this underworld place, but it's not found in the scriptures, it's not justified in the scriptures. And through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, he gives us the breakdowns and the power to cast down these strongholds on our people, man. Right? All these stumbling blocks for our people. Right? So with that, I'm going to hope brothers and sisters, Akim and Aquathium was edified through the spirit and the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Want to give all honor and glory and praises to Yahweh Hashem Mashiach, woman like Yahushua. Once again, happy new moon to the 12 tribes scattered abroad. Stay in the spirit, stay diligent. Until next time, Lord willing. Shalom.